The night everything snapped didn't start dramatic. It started annoyingly normal. I walked into the living room carrying the groceries, the plastic handles biting into my fingers because nobody bothered to help me even though they heard me come in. The TV was blasting some reality show rerun. My wife and her two friends sprawled on the couch like they were queens of chaos. They had wine glasses in their hands, that giggly energy only bored women with too much time have, and the whole place smelled like perfume and cheap popcorn. The moment I walked in, the vibe shifted, but in that way where nobody actually acknowledges you exist. They just keep laughing, like you're the background character in your own damn house. I dropped the bags on the counter, hoping maybe she'd at least notice that I was home. But nah, nothing. Just another laugh, another joke I wasn't part of. Then she did it. The thing that burned a hole clean through the last shred of patience I had. Her friend said, "Girl, you really settled down, didn't you? Mr. Responsible over there." And my wife, tipped her head back, laughed, and said loud enough for the whole neighborhood, "Please, my ex was better in every way. I should have never left him." The room froze. Her friends covered their mouths like teenagers who just heard the juiciest gossip. One of them said, "OMG, you're evil." But they were laughing. All of them. Laughing like I was a punchline somebody wrote for them. I didn't react. Didn't yell. Didn't throw anything. Didn't ask, "Why would you say that?" I just felt something inside me go cold. Quiet cold. The kind you only get when you finally understand who someone truly is. I looked at her. Not with hurt. Not with anger. Just clarity. She didn't even look up at me. Didn't care that she sliced me open in front of witnesses. Didn't care that I heard every syllable. Didn't care about respect, loyalty, or even basic human decency. So I grabbed my keys off the hook. Not slamming them. Not rushing. Just done. As I walked toward the door, one of her friends said, "Oh, someone's sensitive." Like I was the joke of the night. I didn't reply. Didn't defend myself. Didn't give them the satisfaction of a reaction. The door clicked behind me, and I swear that click felt like a chapter closing. Like the universe itself said, "Enough." I got in my car. Stared at the steering wheel for a long minute. My chest tight but my mind sharp. The kind of sharp you only get when the truth smacks you so hard you finally wake up. This wasn't the first disrespect. Not the first jab. Not the first time she compared me, belittled me, joked in front of others at my expense. But it was the last. I drove. Not to cool off, no. To think. By the time I circled back to the street, I wasn't the same man who left 15 minutes earlier. I was done being the silent punching bag. Done being the safe option. Done being the dude she could clown on because she thought I'd never leave. Parked. Walked inside. The three of them were still laughing, telling stories like nothing happened. I didn't speak a word. I went to the bedroom. I grabbed her suitcase. The expensive one she said she needed for girl trips. And I started packing. Not throwing, not angry. Organized. Calm. Clothes folded. Shoes wrapped. Everything neat. Because real endings aren't messy. Real endings are final. I carried the first bag outside. Dropped it gently on the lawn. Then the second. Then the third. One by one until her whole half of the closet was on the grass under the street lamp. I changed the locks. Every single one. Front door, back door, garage door keypad. Everything. I didn't leave a note. Didn't text her. Didn't explain myself. Explanations are for mistakes. This wasn't a mistake. This was a consequence. Hours passed. And when her car finally turned onto the street, headlights sweeping across her belongings, I didn't feel guilt. Didn't feel doubt. I felt peace. She got out of the car, her face twisting as she took in the scene. "What the hell is this?" she shouted. I just leaned against the railing on the porch, hands in my pockets, breathing steady. "You said your ex was better in every way," I said. "Go enjoy the upgrade." Her mouth fell open. She stammered something. Excuses, lies, whatever. But I walked inside and closed the door, locked it, bolted it, and for the first time in years, I slept like a man who finally chose himself. Sleep didn't come easy the next few nights, not because I missed her. God knows I didn't. but because peace hits different when you're not used to it. The house was quiet. Too quiet at first. No slamming drawers. No sarcastic comments. No passive-aggressive footsteps pacing around like she was charging herself up for the next argument. The silence felt strange, then refreshing, then addictive. My phone blew up the next morning. 20 missed calls. 14 voice messages. A swarm of texts with the same roller coaster of emotions she always used. First anger, then desperation, then guilt-tripping, then pretending nothing happened. I didn't answer. Not a single one. She came by later that day, banging on the door like she wanted to break it off its hinges. "Open up," she yelled. "We need to talk." There was no we anymore. There was her actions and my reaction. Simple math. But she didn't understand that. People like her never do. When she realized I wasn't opening the door, she started talking loud enough for the neighbors to hear. "So you're just gonna throw your marriage away because of one joke? You're being dramatic. One joke? Nah, this was death by 1,000 cuts." And she handed me the final blade. I walked to the window, moved the curtain just enough for her to see me. Not scared, not confused, just firm. Her anger melted instantly. Manipulators hate when they lose control. "Baby, please," she said, her voice softening like butter under heat. "You know I didn't mean it. I was just trying to make them laugh." Yeah. She made them laugh. But she made me see. I stepped away from the window. No response. No reaction. Eventually she gathered her things from the lawn, crying dramatic tears as though the entire street owed her sympathy, and left. The engine revved, tires squealing like she wanted to punish the road. But I didn't care. After she was gone, something weird happened. For the first time in a long while, I felt like I could breathe. Like the house itself exhaled with me. Days went by. Then a week. Then 2. Turns out life tastes better when you're not swallowing disrespect. Her friend stopped by once trying to fix things, but really just trying to stir drama. I opened the door, said, "Not interested," and closed it right in their faces. My boundaries were concrete now. No more bending. No more negotiating down my worth. During that time, I got back into the gym. Picked up books I stopped reading. Went out with the boys. Started eating meals that weren't rushed arguments over plates. Every part of my life that had been draining color slowly filled up again. It was wild how fast peace grows when toxicity stops watering the wrong places. Then one evening, maybe 3 weeks after she was out, she showed up again. No yelling this time. No group of friends backing her ego. Just her. Standing on the porch, mascara smudged, eyes swollen. She knocked lightly, like she was scared of her own shadow. "I know you're in there," she said. "Please, just talk to me." Her voice cracked. I opened the door. Not because I owed her anything, but because closure deserved a face. She looked small, like the crown she wore every day had suddenly evaporated. "I messed up," she said. "I know I did. I was stupid. I was drinking. They were joking. I didn't think you'd actually take it seriously." "I didn't take it seriously," I said. "I took it literally." She blinked, stunned. She wasn't used to me speaking with that kind of clarity. "I don't want a divorce," she said. "We can fix this. We can go to counseling. I'll block my friends. I'll do anything." But her promises felt like wet paper. Easy to tear, impossible to trust. "Why'd you say it?" I asked. She hesitated. Her lips trembled. "Because they think I'm boring since I got married. I wanted to seem funny, like I still had edge." Ah, there it was. The truth behind all the cracks. She wasn't mocking me because she believed it. She was mocking me because she thought humiliating me made her look cooler. And that was worse. Way worse. If she actually loved her ex, at least that would have been honest pain. But disrespecting me to entertain her friends? That was straight-up betrayal of character. I sighed. Not angry, just tired. "You chose an audience," I said. "I chose myself." Her tears spilled. She reached for my hand, but I stepped back. "I forgive you," I said, "but I don't want you back." She cried harder, ugly, shaking sobs. But no amount of crying could rebuild the bridge she set on fire. I closed the door gently. No Islam. No drama. Just the end. And damn, it felt right. Weeks turned into months, and I kept leveling up. New routines, new hobbies, new circle, new confidence. Healing wasn't loud. It was steady, slow, powerful. Like rebuilding a city after a storm. And everywhere I went, people noticed the difference. My coworkers, my boys, even my family. You look lighter, my brother said once. You look alive, my mom told me. And they were right. I was living again, not just existing in a house that felt like a battlefield. But healing also brings clarity. And clarity brings a reminder that sometimes losing someone is the biggest win you'll ever get. One day, months later, I ran into one of her old friends at a grocery store. She froze when she saw me, then gave this awkward half-smile. Hey, she said, shifting on her feet. How've you been? Good, I replied simply. She chewed her lip. I just wanted to say you didn't deserve what happened. We joked too much. She pushed it too far. She's not doing great. I shrugged. Not cruel, not caring, just neutral. Life finally balanced itself. She reaped what she planted. I grew what I watered. That night, sitting alone on the porch with the cool air brushing past me, I realized something. Peace isn't quiet because nothing's happening. Peace is quiet because nothing toxic is happening. And damn, that silence tasted like freedom. I didn't need revenge. Didn't need closure. Didn't need apologies. Life already handled the scoreboard. In the end, I learned the most important truth. If someone can disrespect you publicly, believe them. If someone laughs at your pain, leave them. If someone chooses the crowd over you, let them perform alone. Because the right person will never need an audience to appreciate you. And the wrong person will always need one to belittle you. My story didn't end in heartbreak. It ended in rebirth. And if someone out there is reading this, feeling the same sting, the same disrespect, the same cold realization, listen closely. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It's survival. It's strength. It's the moment you stop being the punchline and start being the main character of your own damn story. If you've ever been disrespected, belittled, or treated like you were an option, walk away with your dignity. Walk away with your peace. Walk away with your power. Because once you choose yourself, nobody can ever put you in the shadows again.